and I have a mandate. Let's talk about your mandate every Thursday, 9 to 9:30 a.m. on the program, The Mandate. Brought to you by ZT Communications in partnership with the Taraba State Broadcasting Service, TSBS Jalingo. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 0803 454 0469. The Mandate, a path to good governance. Hello, welcome to another edition of the program, The Mandate. The Mandate is that platform where we bring in chief executives, CEOs, and heads of parastatals, be it government or private, to tell us what their mandate is and how that mandate impacts on the society. Join us today on the mandate as we feature the coordinator of the Taraba network of NGOs, TANGO for short, Mr. Amos Yusuf Sunday. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, listeners.
All right, TANGO sounds very enticing. What is it about?
TANGO is an acronym for the Taraba Network of NGOs. It is a network of non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, community-based organizations, and faith-based organizations who have come together in order to forge a common agenda and common objective for the development and progress of Taraba State. So it is a network of NGOs, and it's fundamentally a civil society platform.
Okay. Oh, great. So now, why this platform?
With the coming of Clearview Integrity Foundation to Taraba State in 2019, I'm the executive director of Clearview Integrity Foundation with headquarters in Adamawa State and expanding into the northeast. So we have an understanding, and we are guided by certain principles and values. And on coming to Taraba State, we began to implement those principles and values. One of them is that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go along with others. The way Taraba State is structured, and indeed our society and communities are structured, there is no how one individual, one organization can make any meaningful impact. There has to be cooperation, coming together in order to forge a common agenda. And in order to support the activities of the government of Taraba State, there is a need to mobilize other civil society organizations so that we can form a united front. Now, our little survey and investigation and assessment is that many NGOs in Taraba State are just in the starting phase. They are not strong. And we are coming with a capacity building background. So one of our own contributions is to mobilize other NGOs, build their capacity so that they are able to stand on their feet. Only then will we be able to provide meaningful support to the state government. As long as the civil society platform is weak, then the support for government will be weak. But if we are all strong, then we will be able to support the government in a more meaningful way. And therefore, one understanding is that there are a lot of funding opportunities, programs, donors out there who are willing to come into every state to support the activities of government. But they will not give money to government, and they will not give money to individuals. They only give money to NGOs. And as long as these NGOs are not strong, and they don't know how to write proposals, they cannot get this funding to support the activities of government. So in summary, TANGO was born out of the need to identify, train, and equip individual civil society organizations in Taraba State so that we can stand on our feet and serve as veritable partners of progress and development to support government activities of Taraba State.
Wow, laudable there. One listening to you already will be so enticed to think it's something you can really jump at. How can an NGO key into this laudable project of TANGO?
The first thing, of course, is to register with TANGO. TANGO being a network of NGOs, there has to be rules and regulations, and I'm happy that it is a very democratic platform. Over these 2 years, we have been meeting. We have even the name Tango was suggested by individual organizations, and these individual organizations came out with a motto, changing lives. So the motto of Tango is changing lives, and the vision is a developed and prosperous society where peace, equity, and justice are the hallmarks, and where every individual is contributing to the development of the society, meaning Taraba State. And Tango has the mission to render evidence-based, people-oriented development services and to promote peace, equity, and justice. So with this, whoever wants to key into the developmental ideals of Tango, you will register with Tango. The interim chairman of Tango is Mike Adiel. He is in Taraba State. I am not in, I don't stay permanently in Jalingo, but I am the visionary, and I often come to Jalingo now and again. But there is a permanent acting chairperson who is in Taraba State, in Jalingo, staying there permanently with his family and working in Jalingo. And all the executives, interim exco are all also there. So this inauguration that we had last Friday has exposed community members of what Tango is all about, and more NGOs have already registered from that inauguration. So get registered. When you get registered, we will now organize two sets of trainings. One is the organizational development training, so that NGOs will know what is an NGO, what is really an NGO, how do you stand on our feet, issues about leadership, effective organizational management, emotional intelligence, conflict management, visioning, missioning, objectives, and so on and so forth, so that you will be able to operate as an independent organization. And then the second training is on proposal writing. Proposal writing is the lifeblood of every organization. Any NGO that cannot write proposals will die out. You will not be able to get funding from collecting 5,000, 10,000 and using your salary to fund your activities. It is not sustainable. There are millions and billions of naira and dollars out there, and it is only those who know how to write successful, fundable proposals who will be able to access these funds and deliver people-oriented projects to Taraba State. I'll give you one very good example. From 2018 to 2020, Clearview Integrity Foundation has partnered with the European Union in Adamawa State in water sanitation and hygiene, working in Fofore and Mubi South local government in a 2-year project that attracted more than 100 million naira. And it transformed the two local governments so that this region, where every year there is cholera outbreak, because of this intervention, no cholera outbreak was recorded in the area. And last year, for the first time, the Adamawa State Polytechnic gave a plot of land, and Clearview was able to build a women and girls safe space, which is the first tertiary-based women and girls safe space in Nigeria. And it's credited to the Polytechnic because it gave a land, but the Polytechnic didn't contribute a kobo. Everything was built with funds from the EU and the United Nations under the supervision of the UNFPA. So you can imagine just these two examples of projects. If one NGO can attract such developmental projects to the state government, how about if the NGOs of Taraba State are also trained to stand on their feet and they are also attracting funding and projects left, right, and center?
They will be sure a lot of development in the society.
Exactly, and the common people are the final beneficiaries.
Sure, that brings me to my next question, which is how does this mandate of yours benefit the society?
The society is the final beneficiary. They are the object. All these efforts, all these trainings, all this proposal writing is to be able to deliver people-oriented, people-centered projects. Everything, the people are the targets. Everything, the people are the beneficiaries. Let me give you another example that came up during the inauguration. Presently, Nigeria has the highest prevalence of river blindness in the world, onchocerciasis. And in Nigeria, Taraba State has the highest prevalence of river blindness in the whole country. And in Taraba, Gashaka local government has the highest prevalence of river blindness. This is Taraba State. There are many communities where you find 20-30% of the people are completely blind because of the presence of the black fly, which is the vector for transmitting river blindness. So when NGOs are strong, they can, one, create awareness. Two, they can write proposals on what to do with this issue of river blindness. Because the government cannot do everything. There is a limit to what government can do. And civil society members, NGOs, CBOs, faith-based organizations are organizations that are closest to the people at the end of the road. That is why we must come together and we must strengthen each other and forge a common agenda to assist where government cannot do. So to answer your question directly, the people are the objective. They are the final, they are the target beneficiaries, and it is hoped that all our activities will be shown what benefits the people receive.
Okay. All right. While we await those benefits to come as Tango continues to grow and work stronger in Taraba State, what we want to really find out, when you say NGOs, is it only those who are registered with the Corporate Affairs Commissions, or sometimes you do mention CBOs? Are they just community-based organizations where people come together and build a network together?
Again, that is a very excellent question. The Constitution of Nigeria guarantees freedom of association. So whether you are registered, you are not registered, as long as your meeting together is for peaceful purposes, your association is guaranteed under the Constitution. Notwithstanding this, no donor will give you money except it is convinced that you are recognized by government. That is why it is recommended strongly that every organization gets registered from the local government, or state government, or federal government, or whatever it is, so that you get legitimacy. And the highest registration, of course, with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So the moment you come together, it is important that you start pursuing a CAC registration. But you can start your activities before the registration comes. And many of us have done that before we eventually got either state government or CAC registration. And I'm happy that since our coming on board, we have worked together with the Taraba state government, with the Commissioner for Budget and Planning. Before now, there was no platform for registration of NGOs. But now there is a form for registering NGOs, and many NGOs have already started registering with the state government. So any NGO that is not registered with the state government should go to the Ministry of Budget and Planning, obtain an NGO registration form, fill it, and submit all the required documents so that the government can recognize your stay in Taraba State.
Wow, that alone suffices.
Yeah, if with the state government, while you are pursuing for CAC registration.
Okay.
So these are important steps we need to take. And then, of course, in order to be a legitimate member of Tango, you also have to register with Tango and pay the required registration fee and annual dues or monthly dues and so on.
I was going to come to that. You did mention, yes, registration and all of that without a fee. So I was thinking it's, a largesse.
Madam, I move the run below.
Adio. So how much is it to affiliate with Tango?
As a network, there are a lot of activities that have to be sustained by finances. So there is no how. Where will the money come from? It has to come from member organizations. So there is a registration fee, one-time registration. But whoever is interested will be able to get the details from the acting expert on ground. And the purpose is just to help run the network. All these letters and visits and all kinds of activities have to be sustained, and it is the members. But you see, if Tango eventually succeeds in getting a project, that project will help Tango to secure its own activities, including having an office accommodation.
Okay, Tango as a network as well can also get projects and implement them here in Taraba State.
Exactly. We can write a proposal as a network and implement a project as a network.
Wow, that's great.
But on the other hand, individual members can also operate as individual organizations. And so in many places, the secret is to have a loose network with strong membership.
That's a big word. A loose network with strong membership. Valuable. And a good leadership at that,
Yes, absolutely. The reason is because you will not want a very strong center that will prevent individual organizations from operating. You see, the reason is this. Members belong to different thematic groups.
Sure.
Some are in the health sector, some in the water sanitation and hygiene, some in the child protection, some in education, some in good governance and anti-corruption, some in different areas. Even in the health, some are good in HIV, some in tuberculosis, malaria, maternal malaria, and so on and so forth.
Sure. Hepatitis and all.
Now, not everybody in the network is an expert in these individual areas. So if you hijack it, you may not do a good job. So the network should provide more of a coordination role rather than a programming role.
Okay. Another worrisome question about the NGO sector generally is in Nigeria, I would say, some level of corruption in area of implementation or donor funding and implementation of projects. How is Tango likely, putting this in check from its membership to ensure that there's a strong integrity level for the network and its members entirely?
Again, you are on point with that observation. One area I didn't mention in our introduction is our core values. And in the establishment of Tango, members came out with 7 core values: unity, service, commitment, accountability, transparency, integrity, and mutual respect. So you see, right from the beginning, Tango recognized this problem you are talking about and decided to put in accountability, transparency, and accountability as core values. The truth of the matter is that there is corruption everywhere, including in civil society. And I feel ashamed that you will see taxpayers in other countries like Europe and America and different places giving us money to help ourselves, and all we can do is chop the money and refuse to do the work. It's a shame, it's painful, and it's not justifiable. So that is why a strong network must come out with checks and balances. Thank God that a network is not a network of individuals, but a network of organizations.
Corporate entities.
Yes, entities. So corporate entities. So if any act of corruption or lack of accountability or lack of transparency is detected from any level or any member, as democratic as Tango is, action must be taken immediately. Now, I have always stated that problems are living things. They grow. When you have a small problem, you don't tackle it when it is small, it will grow and consume the organization at the end. So it's the same thing in a network like Tango. When a problem is discovered, it should be tackled, particularly corruption, which is bigger than cancer. It will destroy the organization and it will hamper developmental progress activities in Taraba State.
All right, so that means Tango has a very strong disciplinary unit that would ensure that member organizations do not tarnish the image of the network at the end of the day.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. And let me also add that within projects, if you get money from EU or from Canadian this or Canadian that for United Nations agency and you chop it, they have auditors that come periodically to audit, and if they find you wanting, they lock you up. I know many people who have gone to prison in civil society work because they did some with their donor funds. So it's not that they just send you money and they leave you, you misbehave and do whatever thing you want. No, if you mess up, you will go to jail. Let everybody understand this. So highest levels of accountability, transparency, and integrity must be displayed in civil society work.
Wonderful, wonderful. And the reason why we have you on the mandate today to explain to us what your mandate is as you conceive the vision of setting up this network of NGOs in Taraba State, and the idea of including this kind of vision to ensure that our society is developed. Now, coming back to your mandate specifically, how do you intend that this really improves the NGO network and to some extent also support government to ensure good governance in Taraba State?
That is exactly very excellent from you. My God, I'm being interviewed by a very excellent and intelligent lady today. There are 5 mandates of Tango. 1, to foster the unity, well-being, and development of Tango member organizations. So we must build their capacity, because it is in building their capacity and their well-being and development that society can benefit. So our primary focus is to strengthen member organizations. Number 2, to promote the virtues of honesty, accountability, and commitment in service delivery. Because without this, there will be no meaningful service delivery. Number 3, to promote peaceful coexistence amongst all the ethnic and religious communities of Taraba State. You will agree with me that there are issues in Taraba State, and we must we have one of our areas of expertise is in conflict management and resolution. Some of the stereotypes, religious and ethnic stereotypes that we have certain strategies and skills that if we sit down with communities, you will be surprised how unfounded some of these stereotypes are. And then number 4, our mandate is to deliver people-oriented, evidence-based programs and services to support government. Now, you will note the words I'm using. If I say people-oriented, I mean the people are the object, they are the center, they are the final, they're the beneficiaries. And evidence-based simply means something that you can trace and track. You can get the proof.
Yeah.
You can touch it with your hand and your tongue. You can take it to the bank and cash it. It's not something that is amorphous that you cannot show evidence. There will be proof of what we have achieved, so that when we talk about progress and development, is something you can trace and track. And then finally, to advocate for the protection and well-being of women, children, people living with disabilities, and all vulnerable people of Taraba State and beyond here. You see, you will agree with me that this last group of people I've mentioned are people that are marginalized to a large extent in many areas. So Tango wants to specially bend backwards to reach out to these vulnerable groups. Issues about gender-based violence, issues about abuse of children, looking at our laws, looking at harmful traditional practices. We take, for example, the people living with disabilities. Even in the construction of our buildings, there are no ramps for somebody with a wheelchair. So these are our focus, and we believe that if we are to undertake these 5 mandates, we would have made our own contribution to the development and progress of Taraba State.
If you are able to intervene on those areas, sure, the society will feel a very large relief and the evidence of good governance will be reflective. Now, on a lighter note, as a way of winding down, in any way are you a little bit afraid of competition? Like, of course, there are other networks that may have been or would also come up in the area of, building a coalition of civil societies or NGOs in Taraba State. Would that in any way mean that, you have some competition or rivalry rather?
The more, the merrier. The civil space is very wide, my sister. Taraba State is very wide. And even if we have 10 networks, we will not be able to solve all the problems of Taraba State in 1 year. And you see, I remember Bile Akani defined the word opposition as simply opposite position. And if you see it like that, it removes the enmity from it. So you will see that what Taraba State needs is not just one network. It needs 2 networks, 3 networks, 4 networks. And even what we're doing in Tango, we will be happy if out of the Tango network, networks emerge. We will be happy if Tango gives back to network on water and sanitation, network on health, network on this and network on that. So the existence of another network is a plus for Taraba State. And Tango will never see another network as a rival, rather as an opportunity for partnership, for collaboration, for working together for the good of Taraba. You see, the problem is always when you want to take the credit, then you see another person as a rival. But if the good of the people is the objective, then it doesn't matter if another person is doing it, you applaud him. If you are the one doing it, another person applauds you. So, my sister, we know that there have been other people who have been on ground for some time, but it's important that we understand that there is freedom of association in Nigeria. And so there is a reason maybe the other network has a different focus, Tango has a different focus, tomorrow another network will come with a different thematic focus. It's all for the good of Taraba State. So we will see every other network as a veritable partner that we will be happy to work with for the progress and development of Taraba State.
Wonderful. A nice way to wrap it up on today's edition of Mandate. Thank you so much, Mr. Amos Yusuf Sunday, the coordinator or rather visionary of Tango, that's the Taraba network of NGOs, for talking to us here on Mandate.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. I'd like to call on all those who have a desire, a passion, something in your heart has been shaking. You want to do good and you don't know how to go about it. That is why Tango is on ground to train you and bring out the best of your passion so that you'll be able to reach out to somebody who is in need. One of the people that came at the inauguration was the GM of NTA, and he shared a passion of how his wife and daughter did something good for an indigent boy who couldn't go to school. That is exactly what we are talking about, and we are happy to bring him on board to train his NGO so that he can do better for society. So I thank you for the opportunity, and I say best of wishes. I hope that by this time next year, if we were to do another interview, you will hear of the wonderful things that Tango has done in Taraba.
Sure, that would be great and a lovely opportunity. And of course, you have heard it here on the program, The Mandate, all that is embellished in the mandate of Tango for the benefit of the society. But that's where we'll put a wrap on today's edition of the program. To join us again for another enlightening package, I'm yours sincerely, Iwe Sekunde Enoch, asking you to be good. And bye for now. You and I have a mandate. Let's talk about your mandate every Thursday, 9 to 9:30 a.m. on the program, The Mandate. Brought to you by ZT Communications in partnership with the Taraba State Broadcasting Service, TSBS Jalingo. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 0803-454-0469. The Mandate, a path to good governance.
They gonna lead us well. Don't let this nation to fall inside well.